What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you about a 6 to 7 minute quick update on Matic as its price is starting to get close to what I believe could be a large correction to the downside. So let's not waste any time at all and let's get straight into today's video. So looking at Polygon Matic, one thing that we know is that we've been tracking this zone between 57 and 47 cents for the last couple weeks now, right? It's been about 2 weeks roughly that we've been tracking this zone here. Now, the reason we've been tracking the zone is because we saw that the bulls stepped in when we fell down to it back in May. They also stepped in to stop us from falling into it right here before eventually collapsing back down through it. And we can also see that once we entered this zone again, this green candle went straight up as the bulls accumulated heavily in this zone. Okay, so we can see just in the short term that this has been a massive zone of confluence and a strong point of bullish liquidity, meaning that the bulls are willing to be buying in here. Now, what I told you guys about 2 videos ago, or the last video and 2 videos ago, was that there was 3 things I needed to see Matic do. First was clear this 57 to 47 cent zone. Second, I needed to see it get back above the 20-day simple moving average. And third, I needed to see it get back above this trend line before I started accumulating. I think that if it was capable of doing all 3 of those, there is a strong likelihood that we do see a continuation back up towards the 75 to 80 cent region. But what we can see is that although we did the first 2 things, we cleared 57 cents, we cleared the 20 simple moving average, we were unable to get back above this trend line and are now getting rejected to the downside. Now that we are getting rejected to the downside, I do believe that this is our last chance of finding support and continuing, because if we do fail and we lose 47 cents, I do believe it to be extremely likely for a 12 to 20% crash to happen relatively fast off of that. Okay, so what we're looking for at this point is going to be the holding of support around the 20 simple moving average and this 48 cent zone. As you can see, the 20 simple moving average is currently sitting directly on this previous level of support in which we established. This tells us that there's a double layer of support. There is 2 reasons, 2 points of liquidity in which bulls could step in, and why, or an area in which they may say, okay, I want to accumulate here and establish some support here. So I want to see this happen at this 47 to 48 cent level. If we look at something like the 4-hour RSI, we can support this by saying that there is a drive of bullish divergence, right? So as you can see here, if we do go from this low that we set on June 22nd and the low that we set on June 22nd on the RSI to where we are now, we are still at the higher low while setting the lower low here on the RSI. Now, that's a case of bullish divergence. That says that the momentum has swung to the downside very fast, that we are seeing a strong correction, and although momentum has gotten a push very, very low on the RSI, the bears have not been capable of pulling the actual price of Matic down, meaning that the bulls are doing a fantastic job of holding support within this zone in comparison to the momentum of the RSI itself. Okay, so that's always good news. So the fact that we are seeing, some bullish divergence forming says that it is possible. So what I would be looking for in terms of being a bull is that we bounce at any given point out of this zone and clear this trend line. We need to see that happen probably within the next 3 or 4 days. By Monday, if we have not seen this happen, there is a very strong chance we do start to continue back down to some of these levels, especially as we are starting to see things like Bitcoin retracing below $20,000. Now, there are a few things that I am now on the lookout for and reasons why I believe it is very possible for us to see this correction to the downside, especially if we fail to hold support and continue upwards. One of the most major things is going to be due to the fact that we are now seeing rejections off the 20 simple moving average on the 4-hour charts. What you can see is that we cleared it and we held it and we used that to continue to the top side. But at this point, we have lost it and have been rejected 2 times. And usually once we start seeing rejections of this nature, it's a sign that we are going into a downtrend. If you look here, you can see that once we started getting these little rejections, boom, that led us to a crash. Once we started to get even more rejections back here, looky here, boom, we got rejected, crash, rejected, crash, rejected, and then we finally started to find some momentum. But at the end of the day, once we start getting rejected off that 4-hour RSI, that 4-hour 20 simple moving average, that has always been a sign that we could very possibly be going into a downtrend. Okay, so it is Matic's last chance at this point to find some support and bounce up over this trend line. And if we don't do this, I'm telling you, by Monday, I would definitely start to prepare some short trades. Now, the short trade that I'm looking to take on would be at the loss of 47 cents. If we lose 47 cents, I'm personally going to short Matic all the way down to 40 cents. Well, that's going to be the 618 to 786 level, which is a zone in which Matic will usually find some support and then retest to the top side, right? If we look historically, we can just look back here at the last time we did see a strong fall. We got this push from this low all the way up to this range high up here. Let's go ahead and drag this up just a little bit. There we go. And as you can see, as we did start to pull towards the downside back here, boom, the level in which we started to find some support was this 618 to 786 zone. We tried to bounce out from it. We failed, and then we continued. And so personally, that is going to be my breakdown target. I think that will likely come to revisit the same zone, which looks like 40 cents to 36 cents, which is the level in which I would then start to take profits off that short trade. If I did this on 2x leverage, we are looking at a possible fall of somewhere around, let's see, about 13 to as low as 22%. So on 2 to 3x leverage, that could be anywhere from 20 up to even 40% in gains, which is of course absolutely phenomenal while we are seeing the rest of the market falling right now. So overall, I do think that Matic is, within the realm of possibility to see a bounce. We are again seeing that 4-hour bullish divergence. So it could make this move, and at this point I would be going long. But considering the fact that again the rest of the market is falling, I'm not sure that it could do it on its own, and I think that it would take the rest of the market bouncing, which simply is just not happening right now. So based off of that, based off of those rejections we are seeing, and based off the general, just the macro trend we are seeing in the market today, I do think it is very likely and possible that we do break down below this key level of significance and confluence, and so I am again preparing that short trade to the downside towards 40 to 36 cents, which again could equate to anywhere between 20 and 40% in gains, of course depending on the leverage that I do use. Now, do remember, you should not be using leverage if you don't understand it. I highly recommend you do not do that because you will lose money. It is almost every single time I see people who don't understand leverage, they use leverage. And you can take on these trades without leverage. You can take them on 1x. You can go forward without putting yourself at an unnecessary amount of risk, because now is not the time to be taking unnecessary risk, right? So with that said, though, that is going to be about it for today's video. I really just wanted to update you guys on what is coming over the next couple of days. I will be going to Las Vegas from Thursday to Monday, and so I will be not posting that many videos. I do have 1 or 2 videos planned, but if any of you are out in Vegas, send me a message or leave it down in the comments below. Maybe we can meet up, hang out, see what all's going on, and talk about some crypto. But with that said, that's going to be about it. Of course, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all next time. Peace.